Last time on the Salty Dog.
We're coming off a really good day yesterday.
The crew put the wraps on Blue Marlin #2 as Captain Mitch Latoff watched world record setter Lauren Miller
Here comes up again.
work her magic.
Redneck fun, love it.
Then trolling down to Sierra looked to be a good move.
You find something that works for you, you stick with it. You got to pull it over the fish's face, and if it's going to eat, it's going to eat.
There's glitter everywhere.
You got glitter all over your face and a big old smile. Looks like you just left a strip club.
I don't know anything about that.
Big Daddy jumped in the chair.
Pop it down and low.
That's the cutest little chucker I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, son of a gun.
Good release.
I'm not ashamed.
The calm, clear waters of Kona are one of the reasons why this coastline is so popular among captains, crews, and anglers. The crew of the Salty Dog is up and at it early.
We're at the bottom of the tide change, not a bad place to be. Trolling down the ledge about 100 fathoms, just coming up on the Red Hill corner now. We're just gonna put in our time and effort and see what we can find. Hope to have a good day.
There are only 2 on board today, Captain Mitch Latoff and First Mate Charlie Bowman. Teamwork is paramount and will play an especially important role today if they get hooked up. The Salty Dog trolls along the 5 major lava flows south of Kona. These are some of the richest fishing grounds in the world. People have been fishing here for over 1,000 years. Ancient Hawaiians crafted their hooks from a variety of animal bones. Today's hook technology embraces simplicity and strength.
This is a 9-0 right here. This is primarily what we have in most of our lures, and it's a combination between a big hook and a smaller hook. The reason that the 9-0 is the best in our opinion is that it has thinner wire, which the wire is the thickness of the shank and the hook and all that. The reason we like thin ones is because they have better penetration. But sometimes when you have a bigger lure, a 9-0 is just too small. On the bigger lures, we can't really get away with using a 9-0 or a smaller size because of just how big it is. So we try to match the size. And this is a 10-0 we like to use, and it has, as you can see, a little thicker wire on the shank.
Ancient lava tubes created hundreds of years ago by Mauna Loa's eruptions resemble gateways to another world. Something has swallowed a lure.
It might be a my.
Just keep it tight.
Yep, we're in gear.
Yep.
Headshot. Nice gap shot, Charlie. There you go.
Mahi-mahi is a delicate white meat fish enjoyed across the islands, and they're plentiful here in Hawaii. 4 minutes later, they have another visitor.
The bigger one? Yeah, I see that. We can go chase it in reverse.
You want to?
You ready, Charlie?
This time, it's a spearfish. A member of the billfish family, this is also a great tasting fish.
A lot of people don't like to eat spearfish or kill them, but over here in Hawaii, it's pretty much a delicacy. Real white meat, tastes a lot like ono, wahoo, anything like that. It's good fried, grilled, sauteed, pokey, sashimi.
Sashimi, huh?
Sashimi. It's definitely the way to do it.
It's pretty good.
We got dinner tonight.
Many boats fishing for Pacific blue marlin off the Kona coast of Hawaii choose to tag and release once they have the fish up to the boat. This is the tag. And this is the stick. A tag is inserted in the shoulder of the marlin. The hook is then disengaged and the fish is released. But once you execute a tag and release, you also need to complete the tag and release paperwork and submit it to the National Marine Fisheries Service. So why tag and release Pacific blue marlin? Well, there's a number of reasons. First, at an ecological level, tough order predators are vital to any ecosystem. Studies have revealed that if you remove the apex predators, the whole system begins to unravel. Everything goes out of whack. So we're constantly monitoring this balance. Finally, tagging and releasing offers scientists a view into their life cycle. We roughly know half of the life history of the blue marlin at the moment. Satellite tagging can allow us to learn more about marlin migration habits and where they spend most of their time in the water column, what temperatures they prefer, where they hang out at night, and of course their post-fight survivability. And recent satellite tagging studies reveal to us that a stunning 97% of tagged fish survived. Once I tagged a marlin, it looked pretty much dead. Its stomach was sticking out of its mouth and it floated down upside down. I thought, oh no, I've just wasted a $5,000 satellite tag, grabbed the gaff, but couldn't do it. 3 months later, that very same marlin reported, and it was migrating perfectly. It had survived. So there's no doubt in my mind that tagging and releasing offers an amazing contribution to science.
Salty Dog Sport Fishing Hawaii is brought to you by the Hawaiian Islands. Plan your dream getaway now on the Big Island of Hawaii. Farish Media, from concept to completion, we turn ideas into images. By Salty Dog Sport Fishing Charters. Join the crew for the best sport fishing in Hawaii. And by McKenna Ford.
This is Mike McKenna, and that's Hanaboy. Like he says, couldn't be a better time to buy.
It's a totally different crew today. Captain Mitch Ladoff has joined Captain Steve Epstein on the Huntress, so Big Daddy is in charge of the Salty Dog. This morning, the Salty Dog will troll towards Sea Buoy, 3 to 4 miles offshore and 10 miles south of the harbor. The Salty Dog is the perfect boat for this family, and it's the one they've always wanted.
This boat was actually a famous Kona boat. It got its fame, I don't know, maybe the early 80s. It was not named the Salty Dog, it was named the Ihu Nui, which is Hawaiian for big nose or long nose. Freddie Rice was the captain that made this boat famous. He caught a lot of marlin, a lot of big blue marlin. Caught a grander here in Kona on this boat. When we decided to make the move over here and really go from chartering boats to owning a charter boat, we knew we wanted a 31 Bertram. It's just the perfect fishing boat, especially for this area. It's a legendary fishing boat around the world.
It doesn't take long for something to swallow the lure.
Pull up the drag.
It hits the long rigger, and angler Ashton Ladoff goes to work.
Yeah, it's a chucker.
You jump off? He's off.
The crew hears about a pod of dolphins feeding on baitfish a couple of miles away. Where there's baitfish, there's usually big yellowfin tuna, or ahi, up to 150 pounds or more. The strategy is to catch skipjack here at the buoy and use it to live bait an ahi. The challenge is keeping the skipjack alive on the way to the ahi run. So they do this by passing water through its gills with a water hose. Since skipjack must continually swim to survive, the water must continue to pass over their gills at the same rate as when they're swimming.
How's that one?
We were on.
You want to run back to sea buoy?
Yeah, let's go.
Today, the ahi are just nibbling and not swallowing the whole bait. Even in the ocean, there are finicky eaters, and this time, the salty dog comes up short.
We saw the series of 4 fish over $1,000, 1 a week in a month.
We hooked 4 fish over 1,000 and ended up losing 3 of them and catching 1, and the 1,400 pounder was the last one. And we caught the 1,400 pounder at the Double D fishing island right in front of Kaiwi Point on the 1,000 fathoms.
There was a boat put on as a mooring, as a kind of a fishing island thing. And we pulled up to that late in the afternoon with no bites and grabbed a bait, started walking it around. And there was a big Nehu ball, which is like guppies, whatever you want to call them. Big black ball, and we pulled up alongside it, and you can see shiners from the big yellowfin in there eating it, and then the skipjacks, which we had down, and we stopped and sank the bait. And we're standing there sinking the bait, this thing lights up and goes underneath the transom, comes out and chases 100 1/4 out of the water like shot out of a cannon.
Only one thing scares a 100-pound yellowfin tuna like that, and that's a big blue marlin.
Anyway, it cut the tunas out of the bait pile and had them underneath the boat as we're sitting there drifting. And it was chasing it from one side to the other, in and out, all lit up. And you could see the tail of this fish, called it 9 to $1,000, flashing in and out from side to side. Ended up eating our bait, which we were shocked at, because usually what they focus on is what they eat. Next thing we know, it starts taking line. We let it pull the boat for a minute with a bunch of drag. And
I think on the first time I saw its head out of the water, I said maybe 850, 900. And it was kind of a down and dirty fight for about 1 hour and 15 minutes.
back up to it, it does it again, we back up to it. Next thing we know, it's straight down, going down, and Marlon and I swapped places. I ended up driving him. He ended up sitting on the deck with a pair of gloves on, poaching the reel from the bottom. The angler was poaching from the top. Drags on Sunset. The wife is holding him in the chair in the bucket harness, and a friend of ours is on the covering board with about 4 or 5 beach towels on his leg with the rod bent over it.
And all of a sudden, she went for a death dive.
Took us about maybe an hour and a half to plane it up. And she came up like a submarine.
So I backed down, put a stick gaff in it, slid it partially into the door, put a rope on it, and slid it 3/4 into the door. I looked down at the fish and I said, well, after what we've been through, I sure hope it makes a grand.
Well, I pulled the short measurement and I took the girth on it. The tail was hanging out the door. I looked at Marlon and I go, how big was what was the girth on the 1257? He goes, 72. I said, well, this one's 80. He just looked at me and I go, the 1400 was caught on the Marlin Magic on May 5th, 1990. Angler was Roy Hudson, his wife Kathy was on board, and a friend of ours was on board, also a second crew, who used to own the Sea Baby 3 named Joe Solcher. It's a good thing he was on there too.
The Salty Dogs back on the water today with Brinson Holder, Will Scroggins, Ashton Ladoff, and Charlie Bowman. Big Daddy spots some action early.
Saw Big Marlin free jumping on top of the water, just slashing something. We're in about 250 fathoms. Right here, this part of the coast, the drop-off's real close. You know, we're probably, maybe a 1/4 mile off the coastline. So we're right up against the coastline, and that sharp drop-off right here is what attracts the fish in.
Unlike most land masses, the Big Island's coastline drops dramatically just offshore. With major upwellings in certain locations, this makes it a natural place for big game fish to feed. The Salty Dog passes by the Rice Bowl, an iconic fishing spot. They troll for 7 hours. Then their patience pays off.
Turn off the clicker.
On. Get that lure out of the water. There he is, jumping. All right, let's go get him.
Quick. Small one. Okay, we're good. Hurry, quicker. Short corner. Not too bad.
He's on the meter right under the boat.
Is it?
Where you want him? Wherever he wants to go.
That's right.
Oh, wait. You need help?
Sir?
You need help?
No.
Another clean tag and release, and another healthy fish swims away.
Nice going. Nice tag.
All right, got him about 150.
Aloha, this is Captain Mitch. Have a question about sport fishing? Post it on Facebook.com/SaltyDogHawaii, and I'll answer. Please include your first name and where you're from.
Salty Dog Sport Fishing Hawaii is brought to you by the Hawaiian Islands. Plan your dream getaway now on the Big Island of Hawaii. Farish Media, from concept to completion, we turn ideas into images. By Salty Dog Sport Fishing Charters, join the crew for the best sport fishing in Hawaii. And by McKenna Ford.
This is Mike McKenna, and that's Hanaboy. Like he says, couldn't be a better time to buy.
Next time on The Salty Dog, we'll recap the first half of the season. It's been 21 days at sea so far, and the fishing has brought some nice payoffs. And some disappointments.
Bummer. The one morning, I didn't say anything.
But Captain Mitch is finally where he's always wanted to be.
There is no other place like Kona. There's nowhere else that it stays as calm as it does. Many days spent on the water, where the big fish aggregate along with the small fish.
A place like this with the great fishermen, you got to pay your dues and do things the right way, and this is where you learn how to do that.
Captain Mitch, his family from Alabama, and friends from around the country are hunting big Pacific blue marlin.
All right, we're on.
This edition highlights the best of it all so far, from fishing action to marlin science to the sport's rich history. It all starts at Kona's Honokohau Harbor, home to the world's best charter captains and the gateway to colossal fish.
Oh, big! Big fish.
Just outside the harbor, you'll see the ornery,
You didn't like that?
the good, the bad, the mean, and the whatever. Next time on the Best of Salty Dog Sport Fishing Hawaii, Part 1.